Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you guys doing? Well, I hope. Sorry I'm late. I'm always late. I figure we can do this can be like maybe like 30 minutes. Little 30-minute situation. That's about it. Good afternoon, Arabia, if you're still here. Good afternoon, Two-Face. How you doing? How's your day going? Hold on. What the hell's going on? Hold on, guys. Here we go. The heck? Can you guys hear me? Anywho, yeah, sorry for being late. I'm always late for my stuff. Not always, but sometimes. Anyway, I'm having a good day today. I'm so happy it started my day off on a good note. And then I came to work. One of my supervisors and one of my coworkers, I'm not gonna say that they tried it because I'm thinking that some people's personalities, even if it's annoying to you, some people personalities just what they are. And I think sometimes they might mean well, but it's just like some people are just naturally obnoxious or annoying. And I can't say that it always comes from a place of trying to be funny or trying to be annoying. But either way, I wasn't beat because the type of time I've been trying to be on some like positive stuff. I'm not really trying to be on no negative mess. I'm not trying to be stressing about stuff if I don't have to and whatnot. So anyway, one of the first things that they said to me when I came to work, not, hey, good morning, how you doing? Blah, 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 whoopty whoop. No. The first thing they want to let come out their mouth towards me is, oh, how come this wasn't done? Or whoopty whoop, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I don't like that. And I already told them that. Number one, I do my job. And I do my job well. And it's very rare that I will leave and not have everything done. But sometimes the cookie just crumbles the way it crumbles. So instead of just understanding that and giving grace and just taking care of whatever it is, no, they have to, of course, they have to mention it to me. They have to say something to me about it. And I don't like that, especially when I give grace in return to them, because when I come to work, there's plenty of times when things that should be done or taken care of are not done or taken care of for whatever reason. And when I get there, I don't pull out my little magnifying glass and just look to see what wasn't taken care of, what was missed, so that way I can highlight it and mention it to them. No, if I'm able to take care of it in the moment, I'll take care of it. If not, it will get taken care of later. And that's the type of same grace I want in return. And I already had a conversation with them about this previously, multiple times. But the whole point of this line It's because I have you thinking about it. And I just don't like that. But the way I handled it, it was good. I handled it very well. Just nipped it in the bud. I just nipped it in the bud. Like once they started, I said, hey, listen, like as respectfully as I could, listen, I don't appreciate when you guys do this. When I come to work and the first thing you want to do is start complaining or pointing out something that wasn't taken care of. And it's never anything egregious, you know? It's never anything egregious. It's simple, simple stuff, right? So I reiterated that to them calmly. And then I also explained to them, listen, same thing I just told y'all. Listen, when I come to work, I don't do that to you guys. I just take care of it. Or if I'm not able to, then I'll get to it when I get to it. I don't appreciate that. I done told y'all that already. We're supposed to be a team. So just help each other. Because I know that you guys wouldn't appreciate if I come into work and start pointing out everything that's not done from the previous shift that could have and should have been done if you manage your time properly and not be lollygagging and whatever it is that they do before I come. That's their prerogative. They don't have nothing to do with me. So I nipped it in the bud before they even got to continue on with a little spiel or tangent or whatever you want to call it. No, that's not what we're going to do, respectfully. And I just nipped it in the bud and kept it moving. That's it. Same with yesterday. I nip it in the bud and keep it moving. And really, I think that's a good thing to do with a lot of stuff that we encounter in life. Because some stuff you just really just have to just nip it in the bud. You don't even have to let it even get into further into the conversation, especially when you already know where it's heading. If you already know somebody's on some mess, nip it in the bud if you're able to. Just cut it at the knees. Cut it off right at the knees. It's not worth it. Especially when I had a good morning before I even came into work. Mm-mm. I got my day started off right. And thank God that I did, because I'm not going to hold y'all. Maybe if I didn't get my day started off on a good note, right? And I was already having a morning before I even got in there, or if I had some type of ailment, which I didn't, I might have reacted differently to that. I honestly might have reacted differently to that. And I'm glad that I didn't because I've been working on how I react to stuff. Some people, I truly believe, kind of get off on getting you to a certain point just to turn around and act all shocked and appalled once they've gotten you to that certain point and you give them a reaction straight up. And then what was the other example? Because I think this happened yesterday. What was it? Oh yes, yesterday. I'll come into work. These two same ladies, my one supervisor and my one coworker, they must have been having a morning. I don't know what they got going on or what they had going on. That's not my business. Okay. But whatever they had going on is what they had going on. And when I come to work, I call it being spicy. They was being very spicy. And I had this conversation with them before. Whatever you got going on, that doesn't have nothing to do with me. So when I come to work, don't give me your tude, okay? I don't want none of that. If you're having a morning or whatever, you're going through the motions, I understand. But don't take that out on me. The same way, whatever I got going on, may or may not have going on before I come to work, that stuff needs to be left at the door. What's wrong with people? We all have a plight in life. So I had to nip that in the bud yesterday too, early in the game. Whatever you got going on, That's what you have going on. I didn't do it. I'm not the cause of it. I'm not the root of it. Now, if you need some help with something or some type of assistance from me, closed mouth does not get fed. All you have to do is let me know what it is that you need. Okay? And if I'm able to help you, I will help you. Simple. That's the type of time that I've been on. I just nip stuff in the bud. If I feel like it's gonna get me to a certain point, or if it doesn't suit me, you just nip it in the bud. Okay? What is it? What is it? You do. Hold on. What is it? What is this saying? Dag nabbit. I forget, but basically, like, if you take precautions with certain things, you don't you don't have to react to certain things. I forget the exact saying. What the heck is it called? I forget. But yeah, I nip stuff in the bud, so that way I don't even have to worry about, okay, this conversation is getting to a certain point where now I'm about to be aggravated, I'm about to be annoyed or angry or whatever, upset, whatever the case may be. Especially if I already know what type of time you on. And if that don't equal out with to what type of time I'm on, and if I'm able to nip it in the bud, it's gonna get nipped real quick. Let me see. And I did, because you're not gonna mess my day up. I'm not gonna let you. You said, Cap, you know good and well you went to work and was a one-woman rat squad. Oh, listen, Blaze, and they already know because I've had certain experiences where I've given people grace and didn't go and tell on them when they was on some mess, or maybe just even, check them in the moment. But not everybody gives you grace in return. So while I was over there giving folks grace, they was over there writing statements on me at a previous job. And when stuff hit the fan, it hit the fan. I said, oh, shoot, okay, I see how we got to do this. So yeah, I do be snitching. I will snitch real quick. You be on some mess because it's either whoever the supervisor or manager is that needs to handle it. Because if I handle it, it's not good. Number one, it's not good for me because now we on some negative stuff. And then number two, it's not good because now I'm about to get in trouble. Because once I get done handling it, it's not going to sit well with the other person who I had to handle it with. And they're going to go and tell. Or we're just going to be flat out arguing. And that's not good either. So let's just not even do that. He said, nip what? Just came through. Just came through. Just on this. Sometimes nip it in the bud. You may be blocking something good. A blessing, just saying. Oh, no. So what I was saying, Cutting Edge, and hey, good afternoon. That's why I changed it because I was going to title it cut it cut them off at the knees, but sometimes that could be a bad thing if you just cutting them off if you don't know where it's going to go. But the example I used was this morning. I have a coworker and a supervisor who, when I'm not able to take care of everything, sometimes they'll come in the next morning, peep something I wasn't taking care of, and instead of just having my back and just taking care of it, they have to make a big deal about it. They have to mention it first thing to me when I come to work and I say good morning, how you doing, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And I used to get really annoyed and tell them about themselves. You know what I mean? Because I think that's so rude. But I've been trying to work on myself. So now what I do is I just nip it in the bud. I let them know, hey, whoop de whoop. I don't appreciate that because I don't. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be a team. I don't appreciate that y'all do that first thing when I come in and when I come to work. And if I notice stuff that you guys didn't do, which they're the first shift, I don't do that to them. I just take care of it. So yeah, that's all that was. Because we definitely don't want to block blessings. But when you've worked around people or just even known people long enough to know, how they come and the type of time they be on, you can kind of sense and feel where it's going. So you just nip that in the bud early in the game. And then we were fine the rest of the day. Perfectly fine, you know? But had I not handled it the way I did, we wouldn't have been fine because it would have just either been a bunch of frustration, or they would have been mad because I would have just told them about themselves. I wouldn't even have nipped it in the bud. I would have let it go on and go on and go on, and it wouldn't have ended well. And sometimes, like I said, you just got to nip shit and stuff in the bud. Whether that's conversation you having with somebody that's starting to sway a certain way and you don't really want it to. If you're debating with somebody about something, it's okay to just nip it in the bud and agree to disagree. You know, if you're having an argument, it's okay to cut it off. Like, nah, I'm just gonna holler at you later. Whatever the case may be. How are you guys doing now? That was it, basically, with that part of it. Unless you guys want to add something to that. But I think it is important to have the ability to know when it's time to just nip something in the bud. So that was the gist of that. I don't know what's wrong with people, especially when you verbalize to them that you have been actively trying to work on yourself. Like I'm telling them, listen, I'm trying to work on me. I did tell them, and sometimes you gotta give people gentle reminders. And I don't have a problem giving somebody a gentle reminder. Sometimes people forget. Or sometimes they just be having stuff going on. And that's cool, we're human, but you're not gonna take it out on me. That's what we're not gonna do. No, I don't like that. We're not gonna do that. And really, that's in any aspect of life, work, home, whatever. You're not going to take it out on me. Friends, associates, whoever. Your plight is your plight. My plight is my plight. Don't take that crap out on me. And I'm not going to take my crap out on you. That's all. It could all be so simple. Hey, Arabia, how are you? Hey, Maggie, good afternoon. Do y'all have of an example of when you're in a situation where you just was like, okay, let me just nip this in the bud before it even goes farther than what it needs to go. Snitches get stitches. Hey, it be like that sometimes because you put an S on my chest. I'm telling. I don't care. If we're at work and you want some bull crap and it's affecting me and I know it's unnecessary, yeah. But if it's not affecting me, then I don't care what you do. You, yeah, I can drop the link. You can be stealing something, messing with somebody else, whatever the case may be. Slacking. Now, if you slacking on your job and it affects my job, then we have a problem. But if you're slacking, don't affect me, I don't care. Same with calling out. There's a lot of people who are habitual call outers. I don't call out. That's against my religion. If I call out, it's because of something serious happened. That's against, that's beyond my control. But even then, I'm not calling out. I'm going to probably just be late. Um, but I know there's some people that either can afford to not care or they just don't care. And that's cool unless it affects me. And then if it affects me, then it's not cool. I'm like the worst coworker to have if you like to call out all the time and it affects me. Nah, bump that. But as long as it don't affect me, I don't care what anybody does. Blaze, I dropped the link. You're what the hell? You up here, Blaze?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. What you got going on, man? What?
it
Like,
ain't not.
what?
It ain't nothing that I have going on. Is what I refused and wasn't beat to have going on, so I had to nip it in the bud. The old V wouldn't have nipped nothing in the bud. I would have just gave folks a good old fashioned dressing down because some people need a good old fashioned dressing down. But that wasn't the
I
type of time
mean,
I was on.
I'm not against that at all, but sometimes, it's best to not go that route.
Exactly, especially in my place of employment. So I said, let's just nip it in the bud respectfully and get a little bit of straightening because people be having a game and stuff. And then once I did that, we was cool as pie.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Now, what was the question you had asked earlier?
Oh yes, if you guys have a situation where, like an example of a situation where you had to nip something in the bud before it got too far,
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has at some point. If you haven't, then
you
I
ain't
don't
lived.
know. Yeah, I said you ain't been doing too much living from what I can see, but but
Word.
yeah. I mean, it's the thing is, as long as you live, there's gonna be problems. There's gonna be something for you to solve. There's gonna be something that's gonna get in your way, something that's gonna try to trip you up. That's always going to happen, no matter what. Sometimes it
Facts.
can be something big. Sometimes it can be something very small. Sometimes it's easy to solve. Sometimes it's not. That's just life
And
in
sometimes
general.
it's something that's small to somebody else, but it's big to you, or big to somebody else, but small to you. And that's where stuff gets tricky too, because when people don't feel like something they're doing is not a big deal, they don't really care to switch up their behavior or make it better, make the situation better either.
That's true. I agree with that. That's true because we're all different. So we're not going to, receive or navigate things the same way. And that's okay. That's okay. That's a part of life. Sometimes, I might do or say something to me, it ain't no it's nothing. It's not no big deal. But to you, it was a big deal. And I might not be aware that what I did or said made you feel the way that you feel.
Right.
So that's also where, you got to really, communicate with folks. So,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So that's how we did that this morning because it wasn't beat. And that's why I did that yesterday too, because like I said, they was on some, they was being spicy yesterday because they was having a morning that didn't have nothing to do with me. So I had to let them
hey,
know.
trust me, I'm almost 100% certain we've all had coworkers like that. We've had
And I
them
had to
like
tell
that,
them,
or we probably was that coworker at one
right,
point.
right, and like I tell them, if I got some type of ailment or something wrong, whatever the case may be, I tell them, listen, I'm in rare form right now. So what I'm gonna do, which is best, is I'm just gonna be on mute. That's the type of time I'm on because listen, because normally I'm talking, 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 but if I'm not talking, 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 it's because it's just best for me to be on mute. And lately, if I'm on mute, it's because I'm just thinking, reflecting, thinking about certain stuff, or I might be working on my poem, just like what last, or it was either I think it was earlier this week. I was in the mix of working on a poem because
Mhm.
it wasn't busy, it was slow as heck, so I had a moment. And my coworker, she sees, that's why I said sometimes you got to keep in mind some people are just naturally obnoxious with certain stuff. So you have to give grace and understand that's a personality.
That's
because
true.
I know that she visually seen I was doing something, even if she wasn't sure exactly what it was I was doing, but she seen I was doing something.
Yeah.
But you still want to come and talk to me about some miscellaneous mess.
Mm.
So I had to nip it in the bud respectfully. Hey, I'm doing something. Go tell such and such. And she went and told such and such was looking at me like, dang, why you send her my way? And I'm like, sorry, girl. Because I'm in the thick of doing something. You messing me up, coming talking to me about something. It wasn't like it was job related or you needed something. It was just miscellaneous. And I'm good and down for the miscellaneous talk. But if you visibly see me doing something, what's good?
Yeah.
But I nipped
Yeah.
that in the bud real quick instead of just letting her go on, distracting me, getting on my nerves with that mess until I finally say, dang, you don't see me doing something? I said, listen, hey, my bad. I'm in the middle of trying to do something. Go tell such and such. Because I know sometimes people just want to get their stuff off. And, I'm long winded, so I understand that. Go get it off over there, baby. I'm trying to do something right now.
Mm.
That's all. But the old me would have been like, I know you see me doing something.
Well,
But you can't be that way because we live in a society and I'm at work. But
yeah.
I can and I do have the right to tell you, hey, I'm in the middle of doing something. You need something? Oh, you don't? Okay, well, listen, go tell
I
such and
mean,
such.
you can be the old you, but that comes with consequences. So,
What they say, free will is a hell of a thing.
yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, we can do and say whatever we want to do. That is a fact.
Yep, that's her First
However,
Amendment right. And my First Amendment right is to say, hey, I'm doing something.
yep,
Go tell such and such.
yep. However, certain things that we say or that we do, there's consequences behind it, depending on what it is, and depending on who's on the receiving end of that. So,
hmm I got
like
the
I
right to
said,
say,
it's just
hey, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of trying to do something. Go
yeah,
tell such and such. And that's
yeah.
what she
Like
did.
I
She
could,
went,
it's like you can say your piece. You can stand your ground without things getting out of hand, without things escalating. It's really not as. I mean, okay, let me take that back. To me, it's not a hard thing to do because I'm always looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at it as 5 minutes from now, I'm not going to even remember anything that was said. So is it really
mm,
worth me engaging or me really blowing up over something like this?
right. When you
Like
could
you
just nip it
really
in the
just
bud real
gotta,
quick.
yeah, you just gotta think. You got stuff to you think and just choose and just pick and choose your battles. There's a lot. You know what? I take that back. About 99% of the crap is not even worth the time or the energy.
And that's what
Like
I've been trying
just
to work on because I'm with the ish, but I'm trying not to be if it's not necessary.
yeah,
Like
now
that's what I'm trying to do. So it's like, let me try to be better. When people keep want to antagonize, but I'm like, okay. So I have to find a way to nip it in the bud respectfully,
yeah,
but still make it very clear this is not what we're doing right now.
yeah. Now don't get me wrong. Now I'm not against the other way by any means,
I'm
but
trying because
that
I'm
is
trying.
again in real life, that is a final resort. I'll have exhausted every other option before I gotta take it there with you.
Like, please, let's not. It's not necessary.
I don't know
Especially
why
when I gotta
StreamYard
see
be
you
tripping.
every day. Especially when it's people that you have to engage with. So I try to be as cordial as possible, especially if it's a coworker I just really don't like. There's this one
Mhm.
coworker I really don't like, and I don't know what she got going on. I don't know if she quit, if she got fired, if she just got some personal stuff going on, but
Dang.
she ain't been here in weeks. And I said, won't he do it?
Dang.
But even when she was here, I actively worked on just maneuvering around her butt. And like I said, and if need be, I'm telling. But she hasn't even been here, and I'm okay with that because she work in the morning. So her not being here don't affect me.
Mm.
It affects the morning crew, but it don't affect me.
I mean, was she someone that, was she good at her job and just personality wise, she
I work
wasn't
with a
your cup
bunch
of
of bare
tea or?
minimal folks. I used to call
Oh,
them bare
okay.
minimal hoes, but that's not nice. So now I say bare minimal folks because they literally do the bare minimum and not even that.
Mm.
And if you're gonna be that way, I need you to not say nothing to me about nothing except for good morning, how you doing? Don't point out nothing when you bare minimum. Just do it or don't do it.
Yeah.
But I've been really working on myself, so even if she come back, it don't even matter. And and even before she left, I just treated her like it was a non-factor. Like, okay, I say a blanket good morning to everybody, I keep it moving. But there was a point where she was able to trigger me. And like I said, some people get off on that, especially if they know what triggers you or have an idea of so, because you work with people long enough to know these things for the most part.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
That is
Um,
very true.
but God removed
Uh,
her from out my work life, whether it's a temporary break or for good, whatever the case may be. But He did that at the right time because she needed to go. 'Cause I wasn't
mm,
going nowhere.
yeah,
You
yeah.
say you multitasking, Two Face. I mean, yeah, you gotta take care of your business. So you don't gotta be sorry. I appreciate you guys.
Oh
But
yeah,
definitely
man.
removed
Salute.
her.
Yeah, and salute the Two Face and Cutting Edge. I don't know. Once I'm on a panel, they won't allow me to type in the chat. So it's weird, but yeah, man. Salute to Cutting Edge and Two Face.
Yeah. They both are cooler than the other side of the pillow. Maggie, where you go, girl? You just dropped in to say hey real quick. So that's how I've been coming because I'm not beat,
Nah, don't.
because it's not
And,
good for
and
me to be beat because it's not going to be good. So
no,
it's just
that's
not.
not good for anybody. I mean, if it comes down to that, let it be worth it. Let it be something real, like
Hmm.
something real deal that can truly affect you, your family. Something really truly serious. That in that case, I get it. But something like work related, and if it's something that truly isn't gonna affect you and your money, then yeah,
Hmm.
man, it ain't even worth you getting into it. It's not worth you messing up, your flow. Like, nah, just keep it professional and keep it moving.
That's it.
So you
And
here
that's
to
all I
make
asked
money,
for.
not friends. Shit.
Right. And that's all I
Shit.
asked for. Like even with my the one lady I talked about, like some people just don't know how to be cordial. Like I don't care if I'm not your cup of tea, you're not my cup of tea. What you will be is cordial.
Yeah,
So if I say good morning and I know you hear me say good morning, yeah, I'm expecting you to say good morning back.
yeah. That's just listen. That is
Like be
just common
cordial
manners.
because I didn't
If
have
I,
to say nothing to you.
yeah,
But then I
I
got
mean
to the
that's
point
just
where it's
common
like,
manners.
no, I'm not saying nothing to her no more. I will say a general good morning. And if you hear it, you hear it. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm not beat. And like I said, I just started treating her like a non-factor. But that was me not trying to be rude because really I was content and fine with not saying nothing to her. But once I say good morning a couple of times and you don't say nothing back, but you look me right dead in my face, that almost triggers me and make me want to cuss you out because it took not even that it took a lot for me to even say good morning to you, but I'm definitely being a bigger person because you the cause of why we don't rock with each other. Now, if I did something to somebody to make them not like me, I can understand why they wouldn't want to say good morning back or why they would be looking at me like, if you don't get out my face. But if I know I didn't do anything to you, I just have a low tolerance for disrespect and bull crap. You know what I mean? And I think what that person is, they were used to having people in their life that had a high tolerance for that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So then when you meet somebody that has a low tolerance for that, that will shake some stuff up because now you feel like they on some bull crap. But it's like, no, I just don't have a high tolerance for dumb stuff, you know? So yeah,
I hear you.
especially when I know I'm not shelling it out.
Well, even at work, if you speak, they don't speak back. You try it again the next morning. You say hello and good morning. How you doing? They still say nothing back. At that point, leave it alone.
Right. And that was kind of like what
Like,
my boss was saying. I said, yeah, I dig it, but at the same time, the point is we're all grown and people need to
yep,
have the ability to be cordial,
yeah,
straight up. You need to have the ability to be cordial. And if I'm asking you something that's job related, You're not about to sit here and ignore me like you didn't hear me speak to you.
Yeah,
But then I
I
said,
agree.
okay, and then I said, okay, I got something. I'm not being stressed about that. There's people that get paid to manage or supervise a situation. So you're going to manage or supervise a situation. And like I told him, I don't consider it complaining. It's just voicing what's going on and you just don't want to hear it. And I understand that, but tough titty because that's the situation. That's the job title that you took on. Didn't nobody tell you you had to be that take that title. If you don't want to manage personalities or supervise different personalities in certain situations, that's your job. Sorry, you know. Some people don't. Some bosses don't like that, and it's like I don't know what to tell you because if I handle it, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. I mean,
Then what?
if you're a manager or shift supervisor, whatever you want to call it, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah, like
So
apologies. Nip that crap in the bud so you don't have to come and get told stuff. If I'm already telling you what it is, and if you nip it in the bud properly as the supervisor or the manager, it shouldn't be too much to come back and have to say. At least not for that topic. But if you don't, then it is what it is. So I'm nip that shit
yeah,
in the bud. I'm not beat for nobody's mess, and they shouldn't be beat for my mess. Let's just be proper members of society and be cordial and do our job and go home.
yeah, because the whole point is, we work together. We're a team. Like I mean, it requires a team. It requires team effort to run the business to make sure that everything gets done down to the T.
Hmm.
So again, we don't have to be friends, but we have to be able to work together to get this done. I mean, I
Yeah, and
get
be
it.
cordial.
Sometimes we might not like from a personality standpoint, we might not be each other's cup of tea. But from a
Right.
professional standpoint, V does her job very well. I do what I'm supposed to do very well. So we work very well together, but we're just not really, friends like that. And that's okay. We ain't
Hmm.
gotta be friends in order to get, business to do business.
That's
Like
it.
there's plenty of people that together, as far as business goes, oh man, they can't be touched. They like they're the 18 pretty much. But
Hmm.
they're not, friends, but they're
Yeah, they ain't going to
business
go get no
partners.
drinks and
Yeah,
spending lunch together like
yeah.
fudge. No.
Like it's okay. It's a job. We come here, I do my part, you do your part. If it's anything work related, we unstoppable. We good. It's okay. Like and again, that's just part of being a damn adult. Shit.
Right. And living in society. We live in a society. There's so many people that should just be reclusive. I had an old coworker, and this is the before the V working on herself. I had a old coworker. She didn't last here long, and I had to tell her, and she told on me, but it was what it was. And I said, if it don't apply, let it fly. But I said, maybe you don't need to work around people. Maybe you need to work in like a warehouse or something.
Even then, I mean, the thing is, at
Because
some
some people
point,
really just don't like being around other people. Some people just really don't like engaging with people, and that's cool.
I,
But then
yeah,
that
yeah,
pick your job properly.
yeah, I get that, and again, that is, that is okay. I get it. There's a lot of people out here that they're not really a people person, and
So then you
again, that's
shouldn't work
okay.
around the people.
Well, see, the thing is, unless really, I say like off the grid somewhere, at some point, you're gonna have to interact with somebody.
Hmm.
So even though you might not be a big people person, it's still important to have even just the slightest bit of social skills. It's okay. Like I said, it's
Hmm.
okay. It's okay to find a job that might minimize your interaction with the general public, but at some
Yeah, like a
point,
warehouse
you're gonna,
job.
yeah. But even at a warehouse job, you still got to interact with people. You still at some point you're gonna have to. It might not be as big of an impact as customer service, but you still got co-workers, supervisor, their supervisor. They're still people that at some point during the job you got to talk to. You got to help. They might have to help you with your assignment. You might get assigned to help them with theirs. So
Hmm.
it's okay to be maybe what they call a wallflower or whatever you want to call that. But at the same time, man, it's not hard to just display common manners.
It really isn't. And it's so funny because you don't want me to start being rude. So let's just not. And I don't want me to start being rude. So let's just not. If I'm extending you an olive branch of kindness, just grab it real quick and let's just keep it moving. What the heck is wrong with people?
Only thing I tell folks, if it's a job and you're using it as a stepping stone while you're working on the real goal, cool. But even then, if it's a job that you're building, you're turning that job into a career, then you definitely, don't want to, lose balance over some bullshit.
Yeah. And that's just how I'm trying to come in all aspects because you have to, I really feel like it's important to be able to have the ability to control your emotions.
Facts. a
And
hundred
I,
percent
I've
facts.
been really working on me, just in general. But and what you're definitely not going to do is have shit stuff be shaken up for me in my place of employment because I'm not here for my health. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh
not here
yeah.
because I need something to do to keep busy. If I'm here, it's because I need to be. So you're not. I'm not. I can't allow anybody to endanger that. Hey CP3. Hey Chill. And I'm not gonna let nobody endanger that. And I will tell on a bitch before I sit here and wait until it's a situation to where a bitch is able to tell on me.
Oh Lord. I see that.
And
It
I
was
will let
all
you know I'm
going
fixing to
good.
tell. I will let you know I'm fixing to tell on you. So there, it's not even a
Mhm.
secret. Like, oh, you got me messed up.
Of
I'm about to go
course,
tell
you
on you right
letting us
now.
know,
And then I
man.
walk away and go tell.
Yeah, you a man. Listen, man. You went to your locker and put on your Fed hat, Federal
Let me tell
Agent
you
Z at the
something.
top. When got your
In
notepad,
situations where I
oh
have
boy,
literally looked a coworker in the eye and said, after
I'm
whatever
telling on you.
engagement, I said, oh, you got me chopped up. I'm fixing to go tell on you right now. I'll be right back. And I go to the office and I go and tell.
Man, Jesus.
And if my manager or supervisor needs to speak to that person, I'll say, such and such, excuse me, yeah, such and such needs to speak to you. What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They said they would like to speak to you.
Man, I tell you, hey, listen, man, listen. She lying, and she ain't got no proof or nothing.
Let's sort it out. Because Earl, Cheryl, and Tim heard it.
Man, I don't know who they are.
That's just a
All you gotta
hypothetical
do
people
is
that was
listen,
around.
man. Listen, man. All you gotta do is just pay, bribe their ass, man. Blackmail them, they be alright.
No, I just nip it in the bud.
Hey,
Because they
listen,
already
man.
know how I am.
First
They
of
already
all,
know how I am.
Earl,
They already know how I used to come. So they
man.
appreciate
Okay,
that
so
I'm trying to do better.
apparently, you gotta blackmail you then.
Hey, they
Man,
can't
listen, man.
blackmail me. That I already thought I was slick going outside and taking smoke breaks when I felt like it. Somebody done told on me. So now they ain't got nothing else to do to leverage. It's up. That shit done sailed. Ain't nothing for them. What you gonna say? Because I do my job. So what's good? And I don't get no complaints about nothing. So what you gonna say? And I'm choosing to handle you differently than what I used to handle you. So it's not even like I done told you about yourself. So what you gonna do? Nothing. Just act like you got some sense. I'm gonna tell on you. Hey, and that's it. But I gotta get out of here. Thanks for coming up. I think he dropped down. Yeah, he did drop down. His punk stuff always dropping down and don't even say nothing. Anywho, thank you guys for coming. I'm out of here. I hope everybody has a good day. Bye.